good evening. Thanks for having me out here. So amazing things are happening across the state. The good thing about running for a statewide office, you get to go 39 counties, 49 ledge districts, and you find out little towns you've never been to or didn't know existed in Washington State. And they're beautiful, but you find great people in every town. I have to tell you, the excitement across this state about this election at every level is off the charts. Nothing like I've ever seen before. And we go out there and talk about conservative values. We go out there and talk about this election, about restoring government the way it's supposed to be, to the people. And you know what? People actually go, yeah, that makes sense. Common sense solutions in government? Imagine that, right? So, it's amazing now, the turnout. We just penned a new commercial, a radio commercial, it's going to play all across eastern Washington. It's not for me, it's the fact that we've got this wrong. We can keep on telling it, we're being told year after year after year that conservatives can't win in the state, that Republicans can't win a statewide office, right? Well, it's wrong. It's wrong. They say that King County runs everything, which is wrong as well. Numerically, there's more Republicans than there are liberals. There are more conservatives than there are progressives, right? But we have a turnout problem. Now, okay, the very blue parts of our state turn out about 69%. In general, the very red parts of our state turn out at about 39%. So we're doing this commercial to expose the lie and say this is the year, this is the time that we turn out in great numbers, that we turn the state red, not just the counties, but every county, every district, every state, and across the state, and elect statewide Republicans to every office. We already have a treasurer, we're going to get lieutenant governor and a governor as well, militia as well. But it's exciting because every county across the eastern Washington is picking up this commercial and playing it, to get the vote out. And because it's not about just one office, it's about all of them. It's about doing the right thing, right? Now it's funny, I'll give you just one of the talking points on the trail. I'll talk about the fact that every state agency in our government has a budget. At the end of the year, when they don't spend it, they lose it, right? Makes sense to nobody, right? I said, how about talking Bill Bryant, Mark Milosha, many of our senators as well? Well, let's fix it. We already budget for it. Okay, makes sense. However, at the end of the year, if you don't spend it, you find new ways to innovate or streamline your process, saving money, okay? Verified by the auditor, delivering the same amount of services, 10% of that savings next year can go back to the employees as a bonus, a way to incentivize. 20% can go to pay those unpaid pensions, and 70% can be reallocated for education. It's a common sense solution that makes sense to everybody. It's a win-win. And it's something we can do in the first session in the Senate. It's actually very cool. And then people go, yeah, why can't we have more of that? Because we haven't had good leadership in our government at the highest levels for quite a long time. So I also talk about in this election, and once again, not about me, but when's the last time you had someone raised in Eastern Washington that's bold on their conservative values in a statewide office? Never, right? In Washington State, as long as I've been alive. So this time we have an opportunity. Me and my opponent. You guys know who my opponent is? Yeah. Okay. His quote is, he is going to work with the Democratic caucus to drive forth a progressive agenda to all four corners of the state. Okay? That does not represent Kitsap County or anywhere else, does it? Okay. So when it comes to property rights, gun rights, you name it, he's against those, and he's for an income tax, for a carbon tax, and for a capital gains tax. So we don't want that. So that's the bad part. We don't want the other opponent. The good part is you want someone that will say, you know what? When it comes down to breaking every tie, you want someone who will stand for property rights, stand for Second Amendment rights, and so forth. So I won't take any much longer, but the Farm Bureau, the NRA, and many others across the state, including Labor, have endorsed me for this office, which is great. A labor group that has never endorsed a Republican until this year, Millwrights over in Tri-Cities. So we're excited, we're having a lot of fun. So as far as health goes, they were saying here, the biggest thing, there was a survey about 5 years ago that tracked people and the amount of influence they have. Okay, people, your barber, your mailman, your whatever, right? On average, each person has influence over 270 people. All I'm asking you for is 5. Tell 5 people about all our slate. Letters to the letter. Exactly. Letters together for me is really important. But also be on the slate. When you're voting for Jan Angel, add Marty McClendon to it. When you're voting for Jesse Young, add Marty to it. But the idea here is to tell your neighbors that we're all great and we win together as a team. Thank you.